What's up, family? Man, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys. Man, when God says, I got you. When God says, I got you. You know, one of the hardest lessons for me to understand and for me to learn was that when God says, I got you, he means I got you. You know what I mean? I got you. And I don't know who this is for, who needs to hear this, but man, God got you. I know it don't look like it, but God got you. I know circumstances look like, man, you all alone, and man, you know what I mean? You've been sold out, and man, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? But God got you. I know everybody else has turned their back on you, but God got you. I know your family ain't fucking with you, and your kids' relationship is toxic as hell, and you lonely as hell, and you're depressed, and you're suicidal, but God got you. God got you. I know it don't look like it. I know your money acting real funny as fuck, but God got you. I know you about to lose everything. You about to lose your place. You lost your car. Man, you about to lose your mind, but God got you. God got you. And that was so hard for me to grow up understanding. That was so hard for me to believe. And one of the things that God had to remind me, show me, was, Elijah, you don't believe me. Elijah, I told you before you got to this planet, I got you. But life happened. And it seemed as though I didn't have you. It seemed as though because your daddy was acting funny, your daddy was abusive as hell, your daddy murdered your mama right in front of you, it didn't look like I had you. I know you got put in that family, that religious family, and they took you to church over and over and over, and they were hypocrites, and you was molested by church members, but I know it don't look like I had you, but I had you. I know you was beat down and abandoned and rejected and all this other stuff, and you were verbally beat down and abused, but I still had you. I know circumstances didn't look like I had you. I know circumstances look like I left you out to dry. I know circumstances look like I wasn't fucking with you. I know circumstances look like I turned my back on you, but I had you. I've always had you. And I'm always going to have you. It don't matter who come against you, I got you. It don't matter how many people come against you, I got you. It don't matter how many people break your heart, how many people turn you away and just leave you out there stranded and just left to dry. You know what I mean? I got you. It don't matter how many losses you took, I got you. It don't matter how many times you've been homeless, I got you. It don't matter how many times you've been fired and you've gone hungry, I got you. I got you. And I didn't believe that. And I'm like, God, if you had me, why the fuck did I have to go through? Why did I have to experience da-da-da-da? Why did this many people have to turn their backs on me? Why did da-da-da? Why da-da-da? God, I grew up feeling like I was unloved. I grew up feeling like I was an outsider. I grew up feeling like nobody gave a fuck about me. How can you tell me that you had me? How can you tell me that you was always there with me? How can you tell me that you was carrying me through the thick and thin when nobody else was there, when nobody else gave a fuck? How can you tell me now that I had you? The tears I cried, the loneliness I endured, how the fuck can you tell me now that you got me? It's easy, God, to tell me you had me now that I've gone through it. It's easy for you to tell me you had me when I was suicidal. It's easy for you to tell me now that you had me when I was starving and hungry, and as a little kid I was eating fucking plain white paper just to put something in my stomach. It's easy for you to tell me you got me now that I'm grown as man, now that I've gone through all the hell that I've endured, all the broken hearts and all the abandonments and the rejection, all the beatings and all the shit I've been. It's easy for you to tell me that you got me now. What about when I was a little kid? What about da-da-da? What about da-da-da? Did you have me then? How come you didn't have me then? How come you wasn't there nurturing and protecting me then? And I was mad at God because it's like, how fucking dare you? How dare you, God, come tell me you got me and you've always had me. It didn't feel like your ass had me way back when. It didn't seem like you had me when I was fucking homeless. It didn't seem like you had me when I was getting molested as a 6-year-old kid by Christian people. It didn't seem like you had me when I was being verbally beat down and abused and all the shit that I went through. It didn't seem like you had me. It seemed as though I was in the world all by my motherfucking self and nobody gave a fuck. Nobody gave a damn that I wanted to die. Nobody gave a damn that I wanted to run away. Nobody gave a damn that I was broken and just abused and just beat the fuck down. Nobody gave a damn about me then, God. My own family didn't give a fuck about me as a kid. My aunt who raised me didn't really give a fuck about me. She just all saw dollar signs because we were wards of the courts. And so she was getting money for me and my sisters. She didn't give a fuck about us. She gave a damn about the money we generated. So all we was to her was a dollar sign. God, if you loved me, if you had me, how come you didn't let me know that you had me? How come you didn't let me know, and how come you didn't let me feel like I was loved? If you've always had me, how come I grew up feeling like I was cursed and damned to hell? Because that's what your Christian people told me. If you had me and always had me, how come I grew up feeling like nobody gave a fuck about me? Even you. Because if you gave a damn about me, I wouldn't have to go through all this shit that I went through. I wouldn't have had all the trauma and the pain and the broken hearts and the rejections and all the others. I wouldn't have those as experiences if you really had me, God. So how can you come tell me that you had me? Oh, we're going there today. We're going there today. And what God had to show me was Elijah. Everybody didn't go through what you went through. Stay with me. There's a lot of people that went through a lot less than you. And they lost their minds. There's a lot of people that were in nice homes that were kidnapped and raped and killed. There's a lot of people that grew up back in the 70s, because in the 70s, I don't know if y'all remember this, a lot of y'all were young, wasn't even born then, but in the 70s, there was a whole lot of black kids just coming up missing. In America, over 800,000 kids go missing every year. Let that resonate with you. Let that just sit with you for a minute. Over 800,000 kids go missing every year in America. And it's been that way for decades. Okay, that showed me, Elijah, that could have been you. That could have easily been you. Elijah, I got you. When I say I got you, that don't mean that life is going to be easy for you. When I say I got you, that means I'm there. When you experience the pain and the trauma and the hell that you go through, I'm experiencing it with you. When you're experiencing verbal abuse and the sexual molestations and the physical beatdowns, I'm experiencing that with you. Elijah, when you're sitting there crying and you're feeling lonely and brokenhearted and unwanted and suicidal, I'm feeling that with you. When I say I got you, I got you. When I say I got you, I feel your pain. I see your pain. And what you experienced, Elijah, I experienced too. Elijah, all the times that you wanted to die, all the times that you wanted to just give up, because you're tired of trying. You're trying to show people that you are a good guy. You're tired of trying to show your family that you had a good heart. You're trying to impress women and show them that you wasn't a bad guy. You're tired of trying to impress the teachers and show the teachers that you were smart and that you were one of the good kids. You were tired of no matter what you did, it was never good enough. It was never good enough for your family. It was never good enough for your teachers. It was never good enough for the women you were in a relationship with. It was never good enough for your daddy when you was a baby. But I saw your heart. I knew your heart. I saw you make mistakes, but I saw your heart. That's why I was always there with you. Because I knew your heart. Oh, we're going somewhere today. We're going somewhere. And what God is saying to so many of you, I got you. I've always had you. Because I saw your heart. I knew your heart. Yes, I saw all the times you made mistakes. I saw all the times you did stupid ass shit. But I know your heart. I know your heart. Because your heart is connected to my heart. Elijah, everybody couldn't survive what you survived. And what God has sent to a lot of you who've been strung out on drugs, everybody didn't survive what you survived. There's been people with you that's OD'd right next to you. You've had friends that's OD'd. You've had friends that's taken dope and taken a hit just on the same stuff you taking a hit, and they've lost their minds. They ain't never been the same, and they'll never be the same. And they were smoking the same dope you were smoking. They were shooting up the same stuff you were shooting up. But I didn't let it affect you like it affected them. Because I got you. I saw you get beat down in the streets, but I got you. I know it hurt and it was painful and it was humiliating, but other people got killed in those same motherfucking streets. Other people lost their minds in those same fucking streets. Other people got beat into comas in those same fucking streets. Other people got beat till they were paralyzed in those same fucking streets. When I say I got you, I got you. I know you mad and you hurt because he cheated on you and he betrayed you. There's been a whole lot of people that's got cheated on and got AIDS. There's been a whole lot of people that got AIDS, not because they did anything wrong, but because they fell in love with somebody who was cheating on them. And so while you're crying and you're mad and you're frustrated because you got abandoned and rejected, there's a whole lot of people that have died because they got HIV. And they wasn't out in the streets. The person they loved was out in the streets. And so while you're sitting here crying and mad and you just can't believe that they cheated on you and they broke your heart, it could have been a hell of a whole lot worse. When I say I got you, I got you. You hooked up with that crazy person. And that crazy person, you don't know it. That crazy person that beat you. That crazy person that looked like they wanted to kill you. That said they were going to kill you. That crazy person has killed other people in the past. But I wouldn't let them kill you. They may have beat you, they may have stomped you, but I wouldn't allow them to kill you. One of the things that I've talked to some of my siblings about, and they were asking me about our father and why he did what he did. And I would always remind them that he wasn't perfect, but at least you still have your mama. You still have your mother. Your mother wasn't taken out. For whatever it's worth, count your blessings. Be grateful for that. When God says, I got you, he got us. It may not look like it. It may not feel like it. Especially when we're looking at our circumstances and it's like, man, I'm about to lose my job. I'm about to lose my apartment. I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my kids. I'm about to lose my relationship. I'm about to lose my money. We got all this stuff and we get distracted with the bullshit and we allow our circumstances to convince us that God ain't fucking with us. We allow our circumstances to convince us that God don't give a damn about us. When nothing can be further from the truth. When God says he got you, he got you. And that's hard to believe when we look at our circumstances. When we get distracted with the bullshit we're going through. When we take our eyes off of God and put them on our circumstances, it's hard to believe that God got us. I'm guilty of that too. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. What I've had to learn was, man, regardless of what I'm going through, I gotta trust God. Regardless of how things look, I gotta believe God. Regardless of how dark and scary the shit seems. Regardless of how many people come after me and say, I'm gonna do whoop, do whoop, do whoop, and da-da-da-da, I gotta trust God. I gotta believe he didn't bring me this far just to leave me. I gotta believe everything is always working out for my good. I gotta believe all things work together for the good. Regardless of what it looked like. And so now, it's a lot easier for me to believe that. I couldn't believe that when I was going through the hell. I couldn't believe that when I was a kid. I couldn't believe that when I was a young adult. But now that I'm able to sit back and reflect on life, now that I'm able to sit back and just exhale and look back over where God has brought me from. Now that I'm able to look back and say, damn, I've gone through whoop, the whoop, the whoop, the whoop, the whoop. And damn, I can't believe I made it out of that shit. But now that I'm able to sit back and reflect on it, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I didn't see how I was getting out of that. I didn't see how I was going to survive that. And that's the problem with the great majority. We can't see how we're getting out of our circumstances. We don't see any way out. And because we can't see a way out, it's hard to have faith. It's hard to trust that it's going to work out. Because I can't see a way out. And what God has to say is, I got you. You don't have to see a way out. If you see a way out, then there's no need for you to trust me. If you see a way through the darkness, there's no reason for you to have trust or faith. See, faith means, man, I don't see any way out of this motherfucker right here, right now. There is no way possible for me to make it out of this unless God provides a way. That's faith. And so, when I look back over my life, I see, man, I have great faith now. But I only have great faith because I've gone through great things. I've gone through crazy, toxic, tragic things. I've gone through so much that God has brought me through. Because there is no way for me to make it through on my own. And so now when I face circumstances, when I hear people with the yeah, when I have all these people want to put curses and spells and voodoo and hoodoo and all this other stuff over me, it's easier for me to sit back now and just like, do what you do. I'm not tripping. I'm not fazed. Why? Because I've seen where God has brought me. My faith can't be fucked with because some man is running off at the fucking mouth. My faith can't be fucked with because some woman who don't know the shit I've gone through is running off at the fucking mouth about what they gonna do. It's like, you don't know my fucking story. You don't know the hell I've gone through. You don't know the battles I've endured. You don't know the shit I survived. How the fuck am I gonna be scared or intimidated of you? And I know what God has brought me through. We got to grow up. And it's hard growing up. It's hard. But in order for you to have great faith, you got to have great experiences. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I believe and I got faith and da-da-da-da. It's easy to say that shit when you ain't going through shit. It's easy to say that when you ain't facing no tragic things in life. It's easy to say that when your loved one ain't facing death. It's easy to say that when you're looking at your spouse that you've been married to for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they ain't got cancer, stage 4 cancer. It's easy to say you got faith and you trust God when your finances are stable and shit just looked right. You don't have any worries or concerns financially, physically. It's easy to say that you have faith in God. It's easy to say you believe God when you ain't gone through shit. When you ain't going through shit. Let them talk about cutting your finances. Let the banks collapse and you lose your fucking money. Let them talk about you gonna lose your house. Let them talk about you gonna lose your retirement. Or you're gonna lose your medical benefits. Let's see how much faith you have then. When you get diagnosed with an incurable disease, or it's your grandchild or your spouse or your baby girl or your baby boy goes to the doctor and they get that diagnosis. Let's see how fast your world gets flipped upside down. When God says, I got you, He got you. You don't have to be afraid of anybody. You don't have to be intimidated of anybody. You don't have to be worried about World War III or the dollar. You ain't got to trip off none of that shit. When God says, I got you, He means I got you. I got you. You could lose all your shit and not trip. You can lose connection with all your family and friends, and they all turn their back on you, and you not trip. Because you know God got you. You can lose the love of your life, and yes, it hurts and it's painful, but you know that, man, okay, I don't know why I got to go through this, but it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Okay, God, I know you got me. I believe you. I know it's going to work out for my good. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I was just happy with this. I was excited with this person. I didn't think that I could have better. I didn't want better. I wanted this. But I trust you that if you're taking this, that means you got better. If you're taking the love of my life in this beautiful young lady, okay, as much as I hurt, as much as I'm crying, as much as I feel the loss and the effect of this person, I know that you're going to bring me better. It's been a whole lot of people. Relationships ended. And one of the people in the relationship that got their heart broke ended up killing the other person. Hired somebody to kill the other person, or they did it themselves. It's a whole lot of women in prison right now for murdering their ex. It's a whole lot of dudes in prison on the run for murdering their baby mama, murdering their wife. Something God had to remind me of this morning as I was going in. It's Elijah. As I bring this to a close, he said, Elijah, look at your daddy. And I'm like, okay, what are you trying to show me, Elijah? I mean, God, what are you trying to show me, God? He said, Elijah, your daddy had abandonment issues, just like you. Your daddy had a fear of rejection, just like you. And because your mama chose to leave your daddy couldn't handle that. And he murdered your mama. Elijah, look at how many women have left you. Look at how many women have broke your heart and fucked you over. He said, Elijah, this is not about comparing yourself to your daddy. simple case of me showing you that I didn't let you go that route. You could have very easily been your daddy. You could have very easily reacted like your daddy. And when I heard that, I just sunk in my seat. And I was so humbled. So humbled by that. As much pain and suffering as I endured, to understand that, man, God wouldn't let me react in certain ways. He would only let me go so far. And I became so grateful, so humbled. Damn, after all the hell that I've gone through, just as a kid, it's only by the grace of God that I'm here. It's only by the grace of God that I have the knowledge, the wisdom, and the insight that I have. It's only by the grace of God that I have the love and passion and compassion for others that I have. When God says he got you, he means just that. He got you. Through thick and thin, regardless of what it looked like, you can relax and rest assured that he got you. Happy healing, family. I love you guys. Peace.